Welcome back. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo says the Biden administration is considering relaxing some Trump-era tariffs on China as a desperate last-ditch attempt to bring down inflation.
We are looking at it. In fact, the president has asked us on his team to analyze that, and so we're in the process of doing that for him, and he will have to make that decision.
Wilbur Ross is the former Commerce Secretary under President Trump, and he joins us now. Mr. Ross, thank you so much for being here live in studio in person. Is this minuscule relief, something like 0.26% drop in inflation, that dropping the China tariffs would lead to, is that worth the long-term damage that undoing these tariffs would lead to with our relationship with China?
Right. Well, first, let's put the 0.26 in perspective. Inflation last month was up 8.3%. So this is a minuscule thing, not only relative to the economy, but relative to the target. A lot easier things they could do to fix the inflation. Changing the policy about being anti-fossil fuel would be a good start. Something like 40% of the inflation is coming from energy costs, but you don't hear talk about that. That's an act that they committed without thinking about the other consequences of it. Second thing is, remember they kept saying good things about clean energy is it'll make jobs. Well, how does bringing more stuff in from China create American jobs? That's a hard puzzle to solve.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of talk this morning, despite the fact that gas prices are at record highs. The Biden administration is now talking about solar panels with the Defense Production Act and waiving tariffs on solar panels coming in from other countries. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's because this whole administration is only focused on its agenda, the clean agenda, the woke things, all that. That's what their whole focus is, and they never do think through what are the other consequences of it. That's what's wrong with the policy.
And I just really quickly, Todd, if you don't mind, because you were in the Trump administration and you know the messaging that goes into these things, it does feel like the Biden administration is sort of in an alternate reality. Everybody's focused on gas prices, right, and they're talking clean energy and increasing solar. Does that sort of conversation come into play in administrations where they must know how this looks?
Well, when we put the tariffs on the solar panels, one of the big considerations was what were the alternatives and what would be the consequences of doing it. You don't want China to be dominating such an important sector of the economy. If clean energy and solar is really the big thing, do we really want to be that dependent on China? Now, you have to remember my point of view. I'm one of the only people that both China and Iran have sanctioned personally.
Congrats.
So I wear both as kind of a badge of honor.
As you should. Before
we let you go, you see the economy, you understand money, you understand how our system works. What keeps you up most at night?
Well, there are a lot of things that do. Mainly what I worry about is actually the foreign policy. I'm very, very worried that we're going to blunder ourselves into a whole series of conflicts around the world. I mean, trying to make footsies with the Iranians.
Yeah. And it's
not a good idea.
It's an ongoing situation. Afghanistan led to the Ukraine war. There's also inflation, so much going on. Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary, for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Good to be on with you.
Appreciate it.